All right, so workflow. So I think we've talked earlier about the history of workflow. You can see that in another video. We're going to talk a little bit more about what this ribbon means. So all workflow starts with initiate and ends with close. But what happens in between depends on the type of object you're working on. So this happens to be a TrackWay ticket, and it goes through a screening, then a review, resolve, verify, analyze, and close steps. So these items here are steps, and steps have tasks within them. So we can expand these guys if we click on the history, and I'll show you that in a second. But while we're still here, let's talk about what these colors mean. So green means that the step is done. So initiate was completed, so was screening, and yellow indicates the step that we're currently in. So we're in the review step. And I've shown this example, and this is a little bit of a strange one. There's a blue one, so you don't normally see this, but you do see it when there's been a rollback. So this particular TrackWay ticket went to the resolve step, and I rolled it back to review. So this blue thing indicates that it's been there, but it's been rolled back. So if we want to see when things happen, if we click on this guy and we look at the history, we can see the history of when and where and who did things. So we can see that Michael Lentz created this guy earlier on April 7th at 9:30 in the morning, and then a little bit later he canceled the resolve step. That means he rolled it back to the DevonWay review. So if we look at the guy here, we can look at the reason. So it's automatically canceled due to rollback. If we click on this guy, we can see that they rolled it back because they needed more information. So that's a little bit about the history and how workflow works. So another thing to think about is that when these things turn green, so that means they're completed, eventually this thing will get all the way to the end. So these gray boxes mean that those steps have not yet been done. When it gets all the way to the end, that means it's closed, and typically that means that you can't edit it any longer. So that's generally how workflow works. There's probably a lot more detail that we could go into. If you got more questions, you can get in touch with us.